have with us today Dr. Paul Kim, a globally renowned scholar in education technology and former Associate Dean and CTO at the Stanford Graduate School of Education. Dr. Kim, welcome to Talk Room.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Looking at your life and your career, the phrase, the whole world out there, or the whole world out there comes to mind. And then I believe your nickname is Educator Without Borders, kind of a play on Doctor Without Borders.
Yes.
You've heard that. Where are you coming from this time? You're always somewhere flying around the world, right?
I was just in Kazakhstan.
You're in Kazakhstan for another project?
Yeah, for a national AI and entrepreneurship initiative. So I'm a member of the AI Council for the President's Office. And then as part of that role, I'm in charge of AI Sana program, which is to train 600,000 students with AI and entrepreneurship for the nation. So they are quite interested in creating an AI and entrepreneurship ecosystem.
We'll talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
I want to get to that. But on a more sort of casual note, you must have more mileage, air mileage, than any other professor. Do you have any idea how many miles you have?
Well, I haven't really tracked them down, but I have many airline memberships of things that I don't really track all the time. Probably it's more than millions.
On each airline, I bet.
I'm not sure each, but combined, probably.
Right. So you are almost traveling around the world constantly on these different projects, and yet you still find time to write as well. And you recently just came out with a new book, which I have right here, 이유있는지성. I'm not sure how you would translate this into English. Reasoned intelligence?
Intelligence
or intellect?
Or reason, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it, about this book.
So the book sort of introduces a series of cases of my advisement experience with students that I've met for the past 25 years or so, from elementary school students to college and even grad students. They all have certain set of competencies that I value, and I kind of handpicked a few of them. And I thought that I want to kind of share the stories of these students so that people might find them inspiring. And then there's some special coaching or mentoring that was involved, and I'm very honored to be part of the mentoring process in their lives. And so I wanted to introduce them to the world in a way and share their wisdom and insights.
I wish I had read that book about 20 years ago, or maybe 15, at least 15 years ago.
For yourself or for your
For my child, for my son. He's 18 now.
Wow.
Your title of the book is 이유있는지성, or as we said, reasoned intellect or intelligence. There seems to be a big emphasis on reason, or the question of why.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right? We all know that. And education is an important component in everybody's life. And depending on how we join the journey, it makes a huge difference for ourselves and for societies we belong to, and even nations and the world. And if the journey itself is just for ourselves, let's say for selfish reasons, probably it's not a good journey. I think the education itself is a journey to learn to make this world a better place for all.
It's not to get a good job so I can make more money.
Not to just go to good college and get a good job and make a lot of money. Probably that's not going to lead to a happy life at the end. So through school years, I think the students need to learn to find the reason why they want to learn, why they want to join the journey of learning, and what they want to achieve in their journey. And hopefully they'll find it meaningful and be able to contribute to make this world a better place for all. And probably they'll be so proud of themselves. And why it's so important in the age of AI is because AI is a very powerful resource. It could be used for, obviously, good, meaningful purposes, and at the same time, the other way too.
Yeah.
So I think that the journey of learning and the knowledge, and especially with the power of AI, it's becoming so important. How we help our students grow and learn to contribute to the society.
The big question should always be, why are you learning this?
Yeah.
And your book, and you have always expounded on the importance of going deep and asking why, what's the true purpose of this, going a little bit deeper. And in your book, you outline the 6 competencies that...
6 C's.
6 C's
Yes.
that the future generation, or perhaps today's generation, need to learn in order to thrive and further develop in the age of AI. Could you walk us through those 6 C's?
Sure. So we all know 4 C's.
Do we?
Communication,
What are they?
critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. I mean, those have been introduced decades ago, and a lot of people talked about the 4 C's as an important competencies for the 21st century. I added compassion and commitment to the list because if someone is studying really hard, becoming really intelligent, that person could be really dangerous without compassion, without commitment to contribute to the society. Especially with AI. I call 6 C's with AI. And what it means is that it's not just the communication among humans. It's communicating with AI and collaborating with AI and being more creative and become a more critical thinker in the age of AI. And that will help you thrive in the age of AI. And so 6 C's are the sort of a foundational competencies. And on top of that, I talk a lot about other competencies too. Meta AI competency, which means that we need to get the AIs to compete for me. I'm not competing against AI. We need to get the AIs to compete for me.
Because so, there's more than one form.
Oh, there are many different AI
types of
resources.
AI. Right.
And so I don't call them tools anymore. I call them partners or team.
Let's talk a little bit more about your project in Kazakhstan. You talked about that working with the Kazakhstan government. That seems like a monumental project. Is it the only one of its kind in the world right now? Or talk more about the significance. It seems monumental.
It is in a way. But many nations are all concerned about their future as well and competencies in the future. I am developing not only AI education program, but entrepreneurship program combined, because I want all these students to be able to create their own jobs. We know that a lot of jobs that we see today will be gone for sure. That is a sure thing, it will happen. And then, so if you're preparing for jobs that exist today, you're in the wrong track, or you're preparing for the wrong future. But in Kazakhstan, they have 20 million people living there, but half of them are in the 20s and 30s. It's a very young country, and the whole government is focused on creating this AI and entrepreneurship ecosystem.
To prepare for the future.
So, yeah, everybody's on the same page. It's very rare, because I've been to many other places around the world. I mean, people say one thing, and then some people don't agree with the government initiatives and so forth. But in this case, I see that there's a harmony. There is a consensus that we got to have this AI and entrepreneurship ecosystem, and we need help.
But I'm sure you're learning a lot, and it's very rewarding for you as well. You just mentioned that AI will definitely wipe out or replace many of the jobs, and yet we need to become more versed with working with AI, and humans still need to be at the center of it, or working partnership with AI. It's true that humans still have to be at the center, right?
Yeah, a lot of people say things like, oh, we need to be able to compete with AI. No, you can't compete with it. You will lose. Right? What you need to do is you have to get them to compete for you.
Right.
And so it's a leadership role that you have to play. And that's part of the meta AI competency. Let them compete for you. And that means that you have to give them assignments, you have to give them tasks, directions, and ways to solve problems, and then show them how it needs to be done. And then they'll do a really good job. And I say this is a time where you need to exercise your hyper self-regulation. I put that hyper in front, hyper self-regulatory skills, which means that you are at here, you can perform about this level, but with the partnering with AI, you can achieve way more higher level. And I say 1,000 times faster. What used to take 6 months now takes 6 minutes. What we are experiencing right now with AI, it's amazing, and we need to learn to exercise our hyper self-regulation skills. And that's what we need to discuss in schools.
As a CTO, former CTO of Stanford Graduate School of Education, and a renowned scholar in education technology, you definitely highlight the importance of technology augmenting our skills and using it for good. Yet you are very focused on human encounters as well. You travel to Kazakhstan, you travel to all these underserved countries, and I know that we have documented some of your encounters. So let's take a look at the video first, and then we'll return to our conversation. So we just saw a long list of countries that you've been to. How did you get started of traveling to these countries and working with those communities?
So in 2005, I was asked to come to Mexico and help build homes for indigenous community. And I just thought that, I can do nails and
homes, not
building
schools.
homes,
Okay.
building homes. Although I was at the graduate school of education at Stanford, I didn't do anything outside of the U.S. Everything that I done at that up to that point was like virtual reality or future learning for more developed country context. I did not really know about the developing regions. But when I went to Mexico, I realized that there were children who were working in the farms. And then I asked them, when do they go to school? And they said, they don't have a school. What? You don't have a school for these kids? That's not fair. That's not right. And so I got angry. And I started to think, this has to change. That was an eye-opener for me. And I try to look at, is there any similar places like this around the world? And I was shocked to find that there are millions and millions of children who do not have access to schools or don't have any quality teachers and so forth. So I began to learn about the existence of this population.
Do you have any idea how many children you've reached or how many countries that you've traveled to now?
Well, I've been giving lectures and led workshops and met with so many teachers and school leaders and so forth. So I don't know, maybe millions probably. Not sure.
Way out there, the vast number.
Somewhere.
Let's bring it a bit more closer to home then. You look like someone who has always excelled then. You've had this very stellar sort of scholarly career path. But is it true that you were actually at the bottom of your class for maybe 10 or 12 years?
12 years.
You were not a good student. I find that hard to believe.
So I went to get the transcript to show as a proof that I was truly a bottom 1%,
This was in Korea, right?
In Korea, yeah. I went to from elementary all the way to high school, and I did not enjoy going to school at all.
So what changed from a bottom of the class student to Stanford Associate Dean? You decided you wanted to go to the States at age 20. This is the first time you really started to learn English too, I believe. Is that right?
Well, I wanted to explore new things and from very early age. And I graduated high school, And then I wanted to explore a whole new world. And so my father bought me the ticket to go to the US. And so that was the sort of a whole new beginning for me.
And then you never stopped learning, satisfied your constant curiosity by taking on new things. In the video, we saw that you traveled to many places, and I understand that some of these places are so hard to reach. You actually learned how to fly a plane. You earned a bush pilot's license just so that you can get to these places easier. And you did this how many years ago when you were?
When I turned 50.
When you turned, okay, so I know what that's like. It's not easy to put new stuff into our head. How was that? Was it easy for you?
Of course not.
Because you're always learning and you're always stimulating.
I love learning. I love to fail because you learn something new. And so I always take failure as a learning opportunity. So I'm very positive about failing. So that means that I can always try. And then, I'm going to fail, but that's fine. I'm going to learn something new. When I was at Stanford, one of my grad students that I was advising was a pilot from Canada, and he was explaining about how they had to go to different islands only by plane. He kind of talked me into becoming a pilot as well. And then, okay, I think I can use that piloting skill somewhere because I go to remote places, and then if I can fly an airplane, I can go to even really remote places that no one can go, but only by plane. Of course, it wasn't that an easy journey, but I was able to learn and then master. And then after that, I got the certificate and became a pilot and then started to fly. And I was able to fly with my pilot friends who are much older than me, but they are more dedicated in going to remote areas and helping people. So they were flying with the doctors and nurses to remote areas. And so I was able to fly with them and make my dream come true, go to remote places with educational resources and educators. And so we flew together to the South. And then so we met with the children, and then we talked about piloting and aviation and science and STEM education and all those things. It's an amazing experience.
At the end of the video, we saw you on your phone. I thought you were just texting, but it seems like you were coding.
Yes.
So you actually still code. What were you working on there?
I was using an AI agent called Cloud Code, and I have a Google server that I access, and then you're coding and developing applications and managing the server and controlling things. And so I develop all kinds of applications still. And why do I use a mobile phone, not the notebook computer or desktop computer? I could, but I want to use every bit of my time learning something. So whenever I have a time, if I can stand or sit and then get my phone on my hand, and then I can just start coding and developing and launching apps. That's just daily routine. I like to create things and try new things. So.
Korean education has been touted by even U.S. presidents as for bringing Korea to the way it is now. But obviously there are challenges going forward. How do you rate Korean education system as it is right now? Because you also work on projects here. You give lectures here as well.
Yeah, Korean education has a huge potential. The only problem that is a big problem is that the entire 12-year education experience is for college entrance. And then I think that is a big challenge that we are facing. And hopefully it will change. I'm sure it will be evolving over time, especially in the age of AI. For the next 5-10 years, I'm sure Korean education system will evolve in the right direction. And then so if you look at the quality of teachers in Korea and the schools, the facilities, it's top notch. It's great. It's great comparing to many other countries that don't really have good teachers, don't have any digital resources or computers or Wi-Fi access. I mean, Korea is in a very good shape. It's just that they are not, fine-tuned for preparing our students for the future, especially in the age of AI. So depending on which category you're asking, there are some areas that are really doing well. There are certain areas in terms of pedagogical models that they are not so good, and hopefully it will change over time.
What do you think is the next phase for Korean education? You said change is probably coming. What do you think is the next phase? Right now, as you said, it's 4 exams, it's to get into college. What would be the next phase?
I think that the students need to be able to learn to make their own jobs based on their own interests, curiosities, and talents and gifts that they may have. Because we know a lot of jobs will disappear, but a lot of jobs will be created by a lot of individuals who have this dream of realizing their full potential. So we need to help them realize their full potential and help them create their own jobs. Otherwise, I don't see how these the students who are in schools today will be able to find an employment in the future. So in the age of AI, you have to collaborate with AI to create jobs that do not exist yet, but that's based on your full potential and talents and interests, and you will enjoy doing. And your job is to make a contribution to make this whole world a better place for all. You will make things more efficient. You will eliminate pains and problems in the world. That will be a happy journey, which will be a learning journey, but at the same time, it's your employment.
Many kids nowadays, I think, are uncertain about their future. They may have studied 12 years to get into a good college, but even if they're in the college of their dreams, they're uncertain about their future. So a lot of 20s and 30s, they're not certain about whether their education will serve them in the future. You are mentor to many students and children. What would you say to these young people, how to better prepare to work with fun and purpose? What would your advice be?
So the finding meaning and purpose is very important in the educational journey. If you don't have that reason, you don't know why you're studying. And then when you don't know why you're studying, you don't have the motivation. So you're not probably going to pay a lot of attention to what you're studying. But if you know what you like to accomplish in your life, then study becomes a sort of a true necessity in your journey. So I encourage a lot of people, young people, to go volunteer. Go volunteer in the elderly care center, or go dog rescue center and then go do volunteer. That way you will start to understand the real pains, real problems, real needs. These are really essential elements when you're designing solutions. Without the consideration of these needs and pains and suffering, your solution will not be perfect. And many big companies, global companies, have come up with a lot of AI solutions that failed very quickly because those AI solutions did not address the real pains and suffering and needs. So especially in the age of AI, you've got to get the students to go find the real pain and feel it with your own skin, and they start to think all that elements into the design process. And then you will come up with a true solution. Then it will serve the real purposes and needs. And so that's what schools should be doing. Give students experiential opportunities to go feel the pain and realize the suffering and understand the needs of the real people so that you will find the reason to study.
I think that's wonderful advice, not just for young people, but people who are young at heart or who want to continue learning as well. And you have shown that through your own life as well. Through his own life, he has shown how to overcome fear and failure. It's an ongoing process, and he continues to expand learning opportunities around the world for the purpose of making the world a better place. So I want to thank you, Dr. Paul Kim, for sharing your busy time with us and showing us what a true educator is and how you live. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.